Close your eyes. Take a deep, slow breath in and let it gently out. Feel the invisible weight of the day, the heavy gravity of your responsibilities slowly beginning to melt away from your shoulders. Down below, the world continues to spin. The clocks continue to tick and the endless noise of human life rushes onward. But right now, none of that matters. You do not have to be a part of that rushing current. We are going to a place where time slows down and the noise completely disappears. Space is not just an empty, terrifying void. It is a canvas of unimaginable wonders filled with bizarre, beautiful, and mind-bending truths that stretch the imagination and shrink our worldly problems down to microscopic specks of dust. Tonight, we are going to explore the strange, quiet poetry of the cosmos. You do not need to analyze. You do not need to understand every physical law. You only need to listen, to float, and to let the gentle, bizarre whispers of the universe carry you away from the waking world. Welcome back to Silence of Space. Close your eyes, let go of the earth, and let us drift into the beautiful unknown. Fact 1. The perfect vacuum. To truly rest, the mind must be given a place entirely free of interruption. On Earth, true silence is practically impossible to find. Even in the deepest, most isolated desert, there is the faint whisper of wind moving across the sand, the rustle of dry earth, or the steady, rhythmic beating of your own heart echoing in your ears. Sound is aggressive. It requires a physical medium, air, water, or solid ground, to travel. It is a chain reaction of molecules violently crashing into one another, carrying the noise of the world directly to you. But as you slowly drift upward, leaving the atmosphere behind and entering the deep space, the first thing that wraps around you is a profound, absolute, and perfect silence. Space is a vacuum. Between the scattered stars and the swirling galaxies, there is an ocean of nothingness. There are simply no molecules to carry the sound. Imagine floating weightlessly in that pitch-black void. Millions of light years away, a massive, ancient star is reaching the end of its life. It collapses inward and then violently rebounds in a supernova, one of the most energetic, catastrophic explosions in the entire cosmos. A blinding sphere of superheated plasma expands outward at a fraction of the speed of light, tearing through the interstellar medium. If it happened on Earth, the noise would shatter continents. But out here, as you float and watch the magnificent, glowing eruption, you hear absolutely nothing. The universe's most violent, apocalyptic events play out in a state of flawless, cinematic silence. The shockwaves cannot reach your ears. The explosion is nothing more than a slow-motion, silent blooming of light in the dark. Let this concept of the perfect vacuum settle into your tired mind. Think of all the endless, rushing thoughts, the internal dialogue that keeps you awake. Imagine releasing those thoughts out into the vacuum of space. Without any air to carry them, the words cannot form. The worries cannot make a sound. They simply dissolve into the quiet dark, leaving you completely undisturbed. Let the heavy, insulating blanket of the cosmic vacuum wrap around you. Here, no noise can ever reach you. This is silence of space. We tell the universe. Fact 2. The scent of stardust. As we grow accustomed to the perfect silence, our senses begin to realize that the vacuum is not entirely empty. Space may lack the air we need to breathe, but it does not lack character. It does not lack a scent. It seems impossible that an endless, freezing void could have a smell, but the cosmos carries the aromatic ashes of its own ancient history. When astronauts on the International Space Station return from a long, exhausting spacewalk, they step back into the airlock and remove their heavy helmets. As the station's atmosphere rushes back in, they are immediately hit by a very distinct, powerful scent clinging to their suits, their gloves, and their tools. They have brought the smell of the universe back inside with them. They describe it as the sharp, metallic scent of hot metal, the lingering aroma of welding fumes, and the distinct, savory smell of seared steak. How can the freezing dark smell like a summer fire? The answer lies in the death of stars. When a star violently dies, it ejects massive amounts of energy and highly complex molecules into the void, known as polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These molecules drift endlessly through the dark, riding on the tails of comets and settling into the microscopic dust of the galaxy. The smell of space is the smell of ancient, burnt-out fires. It is the lingering smoke of creation. But the universe has a sweeter side, too. Deep in the heart of our Milky Way galaxy, hidden within a colossal, swirling cloud of dust and gas called Sagittarius B2, astronomers discovered a massive concentration of a chemical called ethyl formate. This is the exact same chemical that gives raspberries their sweet, tart flavor and gives dark rum its rich, intoxicating aroma. Keep your eyes closed and let that bizarre, comforting thought wash over you. The universe is not a sterile, cold machine. The very center of our galaxy, a place of immense gravity and swirling mysteries, smells like a cosmic cocktail of sweet raspberries and ancient rum, mixed with the smoky, charred scent of stardust. Imagine breathing in that rich, dark, ancient aroma. You are made of the exact same star stuff that created those scents. You are returning to your oldest home. Let the sweet, smoky, incredibly slow-moving currents of the galaxy wrap around your senses, pulling you deeper and deeper into a state of warm, aromatic slumber. Fact 3. The tears that never fall. Down on Earth, we are bound by the relentless pull of gravity. It is the invisible force that keeps our feet on the ground, pulls the rain from the clouds, and drags the heavy burdens of the day down upon our shoulders. Gravity is also what allows us to release our sorrow. When the weight of the world becomes too much, we cry, and gravity pulls those tears down our cheeks, letting them fall and wash away the tension. But when you leave the atmosphere and drift into the profound weightlessness of orbit, the physical expression of sadness completely changes. In the microgravity of space, tears do not fall. Imagine floating in the quiet, dimly lit cabin of a spacecraft, looking out the window at the slow, majestic turn of the blue marble below. If you were to feel a wave of overwhelming emotion, and a tear formed in your eye, it would not run down your face. Without gravity to pull it downward, the tear simply stays there. As more tears form, surface tension takes over. The water gathers together, slowly building into a trembling, liquid sphere that completely surrounds your eye. It becomes a soft, floating pool of water, clinging gently to your skin. To clear this heavy pool of water, an astronaut cannot simply let it fall. They must gently wipe it away. The universe, in its bizarre and beautiful way, refuses to let your tears fall into the dark. It holds them close to you, transforming your sorrow into a weightless, shimmering bubble of water. Let this thought ease your mind. The heavy emotions, the sadness, the stress that you carry with you, if you take them into the quiet void of space, they lose their ability to drag you down. They lose their weight entirely. Imagine all of your lingering worries gathering into a single, weightless drop of water, floating harmlessly away into the cabin, completely detached from you. You are no longer burdened by the gravity of your own thoughts. You are light, you are free, and your mind is as clear as a floating droplet in the cosmic dark. Fact 4: the cold embrace of metal. In our daily lives, we are surrounded by boundaries. Things are separate. A table is a table, a coin is a coin, and a piece of metal is a distinct, individual object. Down here on the surface, everything is coated in a microscopic layer of oxidation, a thin shield created by the oxygen in our atmosphere that keeps atoms from interacting with one another. It is the armor that keeps the physical world separated. But as we drift further out into the perfect vacuum of deep space, that armor is stripped away. The universe reveals a strange, almost magical desire for unity. This is the phenomenon known as cold welding. If you take two pieces of identical, uncoated metal, like two pure blocks of aluminum, and simply touch them together in the vacuum of space, something incredible happens. Because there is no oxygen and no layer of oxidation to act as a barrier, the atoms in the metal do not know that they belong to separate pieces. The moment they touch, they instantly, seamlessly bond. They do not need to be melted in a blazing furnace. They do not need a spark. In the absolute cold and perfect silence of the void, the two pieces of metal simply become one solid, unbreakable object. The boundaries between them completely vanish. The atoms reach out in the dark and hold on to each other, realizing they are made of the exact same stardust. Imagine your mind experiencing this effortless connection. Throughout the day, your thoughts are fractured, separated into 1,000 different, stressful pieces. But as you sink deeper into this cosmic slumber, imagine those scattered pieces drifting together in the quiet vacuum of your mind. There is no friction here. There is no resistance. As your thoughts gently touch, they fuse together, slowly forming a single, solid, unbreakable state of calm. The frantic, divided energy of the waking world disappears, replaced by a smooth, seamless unity. You are no longer a collection of scattered worries. You are whole. You are anchored. Let the cold, quiet embrace of the universe hold all the pieces together, allowing you to finally rest in perfect, unified stillness. Fact 5: the stretching of the spine. We are held together on Earth by invisible chains. The gravity of our massive, spinning planet pulls constantly on every single cell of our bodies. From the moment we first stand up as children, our spine acts as a shock absorber, a column of bone and cartilage compressing slightly throughout the long, heavy hours of the day. By the time the evening finally arrives, and we collapse into bed, we are quite literally shorter than we were when the morning began. We carry the physical weight of the day in our bones. But when you leave the surface and enter the deep, quiet expanse of microgravity, the chains are finally broken. Up here, in the long, slow drift of orbit, the universe offers your body a profound, physical release. Imagine yourself floating inside the silent module of a space station. The constant, downward pressure of Earth is completely gone. Because the heavy gravity is no longer compressing the discs between the vertebrae of your spine, something beautiful happens. Your spine begins to slowly, gently relax. The fluid within your body expands into the empty spaces, acting like a soft, invisible cushion. Over the course of days and weeks in space, an astronaut's spine stretches out, returning to its natural, unburdened state. In the pure weightlessness of the cosmos, human beings can actually grow up to 2 inches taller. You are no longer being crushed by the world. You are expanding into the void. Let your own tired body mimic this feeling of release. As you lie perfectly still, imagine the invisible gravity of your room suddenly shutting off. Feel the tension in your lower back slowly dissolving, as if the vertebrae are gently separating, allowing a warm, soothing fluid to fill the spaces between them. The heavy pressure of the day is lifting off your shoulders, uncoiling your spine, and stretching your limbs out into the endless dark. You do not have to hold yourself together anymore. You are safe to expand. You are safe to let go. Allow the deep, quiet weightlessness of space to gently pull the remaining exhaustion from your bones, leaving you feeling long, relaxed, and perfectly at peace in the dark. Fact 6. The million-year journey of light. When we look up at the sun during a clear afternoon, we feel its warmth instantly on our skin. We naturally assume that light, the fastest thing in the entire universe, arrives the moment it is created. It takes only 8 short minutes for a photon of light to cross the 93 million miles of empty space between the surface of the sun and the surface of the Earth. It is a blindingly fast, straight line through the vacuum. But the journey of that light did not begin on the surface. To truly understand the patience of the universe, we must look deep inside the sun itself. Imagine diving down, past the glowing corona, past the boiling, chaotic surface of plasma, and descending into the unimaginably dense, crushing core of our star. This is where the light is born. In the intense, unimaginable pressure of the core, hydrogen atoms are violently smashed together in the process of nuclear fusion, creating a single, incredibly energetic photon of light. But this photon is not free to travel. The core of the sun is so incredibly dense, so packed with matter, that the photon cannot simply fly straight out. The moment it is born, it instantly crashes into another atom, which absorbs it and spits it back out in a completely random direction. Then it crashes into another, and another, and another. It bounces endlessly back and forth, zigzagging in a chaotic, agonizingly slow dance known as a random walk. To escape the crushing density of the sun and finally reach the surface, a single photon must undergo trillions upon trillions of these microscopic collisions. This journey, from the dark, heavy core to the blindingly bright surface, is so slow that it can take a photon over 1 million years to finally break free. The light that touched your face this afternoon, the warmth that woke you up this morning, was not created today. It was created 1 million years ago, long before human civilization even existed. It spent eons struggling through the dark, heavy core of a star, just to finally escape into the vacuum and reach your eyes. Let this million-year journey of light soothe your anxious mind. The universe operates on a timescale so vast, so incredibly patient, that the frantic rush of human life seems entirely insignificant. You do not need to solve all of your problems by tomorrow morning. The cosmos is not in a hurry, and neither are you. If light itself takes 1 million years to find its way out of the dark, you can allow yourself the time to rest, to heal, and to simply exist. Breathe in the slow, ancient patience of the stars, and let the long, quiet journey of light guide you gently into sleep. Fact 7. The Rains of Glass. As we drift further into the uncharted depths of the Milky Way, we encounter worlds that defy everything we know about nature. From a great distance, we spot a planet known as HD 189733b. If you were to look at it through a telescope, it would appear as a deeply calming, beautiful sphere of deep azure blue, looking remarkably like our own peaceful Earth. But the universe is a master of illusions. That soothing blue color does not come from the reflection of a quiet, life-giving ocean. It comes from a hazy, swirling atmosphere saturated with silicate particles. In the extreme, boiling heat of this alien world, those particles condense to form drops of molten glass. Because the planet is locked in a tight, violently fast orbit around its star, it generates winds that howl at over 5,000 miles per hour. It rains glass on this world. And it does not rain downward. The wind is so incomprehensibly fast that the molten glass lashes across the atmosphere completely sideways. But we are not going down to the surface. We are watching from a profound, safe, and absolute distance. Imagine hovering millions of miles away, suspended in the silent, freezing dark, looking at this beautiful, chaotic blue marble. You are completely insulated from its violence. Watching a storm of that magnitude from the absolute safety of the void is like sitting in a warm, dark room, wrapped in a heavy blanket, watching a fierce blizzard rage silently behind a thick pane of soundproof glass. The chaos is out there, but it cannot touch you. It cannot reach you. Think about the fierce, sideways storms of your own life, the chaotic days, the harsh words, the overwhelming rush of responsibilities. Right now, you are millions of miles away from all of it. You have stepped outside the atmosphere of your own stress. You are observing the storm from the quiet, untouched sanctuary of the deep space. Let the terrifying speed of a distant world highlight the perfect, unbreakable stillness of the dark space around you. You are safe. The glass rain cannot reach you here. Fact 8. The Shrinking Storm. We leave the violent, blue illusion behind and drift back toward a familiar, ancient giant. We return to the swirling, pastel clouds of Jupiter. For hundreds of years, humanity has aimed its telescopes at this massive gas planet and observed its most defining feature, the Great Red Spot. It is an anticyclone, a storm of unimaginable proportions, churning fiercely with crimson and ochre clouds. At its peak, this storm was so incredibly vast that you could fit 3 entire Earths inside it side by side. It has raged continuously, without a single moment of rest, for at least 300 years. But recent observations by our space probes have revealed a beautiful, comforting truth about the universe. Nothing, not even the most terrifying, monumental storms, can last forever. The Great Red Spot is shrinking. The giant is finally growing tired. Year by year, the massive borders of the storm are pulling inward. The swirling crimson winds are slowly, inevitably losing their momentum. The chaotic energy that has fueled this tempest for centuries is finally beginning to dissipate, absorbed back into the massive, quiet, and calming bands of Jupiter's atmosphere. One day in the cosmic future, the Great Red Spot will fade away entirely, leaving behind nothing but smooth, sweeping clouds. Let the slow, inevitable death of this ancient storm be a lullaby for your anxious mind. Sometimes, the stress and the worries we carry feel exactly like the Great Red Spot, a massive, spinning vortex that seems like it will never end. We feed it with our energy, and it keeps us awake in the dark. But just like the storm on Jupiter, your anxiety cannot sustain itself forever. It is already running out of energy. The swirling thoughts are losing their momentum. The storm inside your mind is shrinking. Imagine the fierce, red winds of your worries slowly slowing down, fading into soft, smooth, pastel colors. The turbulence is passing. The long, exhausting centuries of the storm are coming to an end. Breathe in the calming, expansive atmosphere of the gas giant, and as you exhale, let the storm shrink a little bit more. Let it fade into the background. The universe is settling down, and it is time for you to do the same. Fact 9. The Time Traveler's Illusion. When you lie on your back in the dark, looking up at a clear night sky, you naturally assume you are looking at the universe exactly as it is right now. You see a tapestry of glittering silver dots, and it feels like a live, synchronized performance taking place directly above your head. But the universe does not operate on a single, shared clock. Because of the vast, incomprehensible distances of deep space, the speed of light, as incredibly fast as it is, creates a beautiful, cosmic delay. When you look at the stars, you are not looking at the present. You are looking deeply into the past. Imagine focusing on Sirius, the brightest star in our night sky. The light hitting your eyes right now left that star over 8 years ago. You are seeing a ghost of Sirius as it was in the past. If you look toward the Orion constellation and spot the red glow of Betelgeuse, you are seeing light that began its journey almost 700 years ago, long before the modern world took shape. And if you are far away from the city lights, and you manage to catch the faint, fuzzy smudge of the Andromeda Galaxy, your eyes are collecting photons of light that have been traveling through the dark, empty void for 2.5 million years. You are seeing the galaxy as it was when the very first human ancestors were just beginning to walk on the Earth. The night sky is not a live broadcast. It is a massive, glittering museum of cosmic history. Every star is a different era, a different epoch, all arriving at your eyes at the exact same moment. Let this realization bring you a profound sense of peace. The anxieties that keep you awake, the mistakes of yesterday, the looming deadlines of tomorrow, are entirely trapped in the rigid, stressful illusion of the present. But the universe does not care about the present. It offers you a sky filled entirely with the past. You do not need to figure out what happens next. You are simply lying in the dark, bathed in the gentle, ancient echoes of history. You are a time traveler, safely watching the events of millions of years ago unfold in absolute, perfect silence. Let go of the urgent, demanding present. Allow your mind to drift backward into the deep time of the cosmos, where everything has already happened and there is nothing left to worry about. Fact 10. The coldest place in the cosmos. As we drift further through this gallery of ancient light, we search for a place to finally rest. Down on Earth, when the day is too chaotic and the mind is burning with stress, we instinctively seek out the cool side of the pillow. We crave a drop in temperature to slow our racing heart rates and signal to our bodies that it is time to hibernate. The universe understands this need perfectly, and it has created a place of ultimate, absolute refrigeration. About 5,000 light-years away from Earth, in the constellation of Centaurus, there is a dying star that has exhaled a massive, ghostly cloud of gas. This is the Boomerang Nebula. It is an expanding cloud of carbon monoxide, blowing outward at incredibly high speeds. Because it is expanding so rapidly, the physics of thermodynamics cause it to cool down to a temperature that defies the imagination. It is the coldest naturally occurring place in the entire known universe. The temperature inside the Boomerang Nebula is 1 degree Kelvin. That is minus 458 degrees Fahrenheit, or minus 272 degrees Celsius. It is actually colder than the empty, freezing vacuum of deep space itself. It is colder than the ancient, fading afterglow of the Big Bang. To exist in a place this cold is to experience the ultimate cessation of movement. At 1 degree Kelvin, the chaotic, frantic vibration of atoms comes to an almost complete stop. Matter itself becomes deeply, profoundly lethargic. There is no energy left for chaos. There is no heat left to fuel a storm. It is a place of absolute, crystalline stillness. Imagine yourself slowly drifting into the heart of this ghostly, freezing cloud. The cold here does not bite, and it does not hurt. It is a heavy, preserving chill that simply puts everything to sleep. Imagine your anxious thoughts as hot, glowing embers scattered across the floor of your mind. Now, let the impossibly cold, slow-moving gas of the Boomerang Nebula wash over them. Watch as the glowing embers instantly fade from red to a dull gray, and finally, into cold, dark ash. The heat of your stress is being entirely absorbed by the expanding nebula. The temperature of your mind is dropping perfectly in sync with the freezing cosmos. Let the profound, unbreakable chill of the universe slow your heartbeat, smooth out your breathing, and freeze your lingering worries into a state of silent, heavy rest. Fact 11. The rogue planet's dark oceans. When we think of a planet, we naturally imagine it tethered to a star. We picture a world bathed in the warm, golden light of a sun, locked in a predictable, endless orbit, experiencing the familiar rhythm of days, nights, and changing seasons. But the universe is vast, and it is filled with wanderers who have broken free from those tethers. There are billions of worlds drifting through the Milky Way that belong to no star at all. These are the rogue planets. Cast out of their home solar systems during the violent, chaotic days of their formation, these orphaned worlds now sail through the pitch-black interstellar medium. At first glance, a rogue planet seems like the most hostile, terrifying place imaginable. Without a sun to warm it, the surface of such a world is plunged into an eternal, freezing night. Any water on its surface has long since frozen into a shell of rock-hard, absolute ice. It is a world entirely swallowed by the dark. But if you look closer, the universe offers a profound lesson in hidden comfort. Beneath that miles-thick, freezing crust of impenetrable ice, the core of the rogue planet is still alive. The immense pressure and the slow decay of radioactive elements deep within the planet generate a steady, gentle geothermal heat. And trapped between the burning core and the freezing surface, there is an ocean. A global, liquid ocean of warm water, completely sealed off from the freezing vacuum of space. Imagine yourself leaving the cold, silent surface of the ice and sinking down, deep into the heart of this wandering world. You are slipping into a vast, pitch-black ocean that has not seen the light of a star for billions of years. But it is not cold. It is a profound, comforting, and heavy warmth. The miles of ice above you act as the ultimate shield, the thickest, heaviest blanket in the cosmos, protecting you entirely from the harshness of the outside universe. You are completely insulated. The chaotic storms of the galaxy, the blinding radiation of supernovas, the freezing temperatures of the void, none of it can penetrate the ice. You are hidden away in a secret, warm, and perfectly silent sanctuary. Think of your own mind as this rogue planet. The outer world may be cold, demanding, and exhausting, but deep within you, there is a quiet, insulated ocean of peace that the world cannot touch. Sink into that warm, dark water. Let the heavy ice protect you. You are completely safe, drifting through the night, warm and hidden in the deep. Fact 12. The black hole's quiet shadow. As we continue to float through the dark, we eventually encounter the most misunderstood entities in the entire cosmos. To the waking mind, a black hole is a monster. It is a violent, cosmic vacuum cleaner that violently tears stars apart and swallows light itself. We are taught to fear their incredible, crushing gravity. But in the slow, meditative reality of the deep universe, a black hole is not a destroyer. It is the ultimate anchor. We are not approaching a feeding black hole, surrounded by a screaming disk of superheated plasma. We are approaching a dormant giant. A black hole that has long since cleared its neighborhood and now sits in absolute, perfect silence. It is a sphere of flawless, unblemished darkness. It reflects nothing. It emits nothing. It is a place of pure, heavy rest. As you drift toward the edge of this quiet shadow, the event horizon, you do not feel a violent pull. You feel an incredibly smooth, stabilizing force wrapping around you. Gravity is the heaviest, most comforting blanket the universe can provide. The sheer mass of the black hole creates a profound sense of grounding. You are no longer drifting aimlessly, you are being held. You are securely anchored to the heaviest object in the void. But the true comfort of the black hole lies in its mastery over time. According to the laws of physics, the stronger the gravitational pull, the slower time moves. As you rest in the quiet shadow of the event horizon, experiencing this extreme time dilation, the relentless, exhausting ticking of the clock completely stops. Out in the distant galaxy, millions of years might be rushing by. Civilizations rise and fall, stars ignite and fade, but for you, suspended in the gentle gravity of the black hole, a single second stretches out into an eternity. The anxiety of tomorrow cannot exist here, because tomorrow takes 1,000,000 years to arrive. The rush of the present is stretched into a flat, calm, unbreakable stillness. Allow the immense, invisible weight of the black hole to hold you in place. Let its gravity absorb the frantic, nervous energy of your tired body. The universe has provided you with a place where time itself goes to sleep. Surrender to that flawless darkness. Let the ticking clock fade away into nothing and rest safely in the quiet shadow of the void. Fact 13. The Great Nothingness. When we picture the universe, we imagine it filled to the brim with glowing stars, swirling galaxies, and colorful nebulas. We think of a busy, crowded cosmos. But the true nature of the universe is emptiness. And nowhere is that emptiness more profound than in a region of space known as the Boötes Void. The Boötes Void is a spherical region of the universe nearly 330 million light-years in diameter. To understand the sheer scale of this emptiness, consider this: if our own Milky Way galaxy had been placed in the exact center of the Boötes void, the night sky above Earth would have been almost entirely pitch black. We would not have seen a single other galaxy through our telescopes. For thousands of years of human history, we would have believed that our lonely galaxy was the only thing that existed in an infinite, flawless ocean of nothingness. It is the quietest, emptiest, and most isolated place ever discovered. Imagine yourself drifting perfectly into the center of that great, empty dark. When the hours of the night drag on and your mind feels too crowded with thoughts, responsibilities, and the exhausting echo of the day, it is because your internal universe is too cluttered. You need space. Let your consciousness expand outward, leaving the crowded galaxy behind, and sink into the Boötes void. Here, there are no cosmic neighbors. There are no massive gravitational fields pulling you in different directions. There is absolutely nothing to bump into, and nothing to analyze. It is a pure, unblemished vacuum. Imagine the walls of your room expanding infinitely outward until they completely disappear, leaving you suspended in a comforting, heavy nothingness. Let the grand emptiness of the void swallow every remaining thought. In this perfect isolation, your mind finally has the space it needs to shut down. Fact 14. The smoothest sphere. Drifting out of the great, quiet nothingness, we encounter an object born from the violent death of a giant star. When a massive sun runs out of fuel, its core collapses inward with unimaginable force, crushing protons and electrons together until they become a solid, incredibly dense sphere of neutrons. This is a neutron star. It is a world of extremes. A neutron star is incredibly small, often only the size of a single city on Earth, yet it contains more mass than our entire Sun. Because it is so incredibly heavy and so tightly packed, its gravity is 1 billion times stronger than the gravity we feel down here on the ground. This crushing, inescapable gravity does something beautiful to the physical structure of the star. It flattens everything. It eradicates all chaos. The crust of a neutron star is the smoothest, most perfect solid surface in the entire known universe. It is a sphere polished to an absolute, mathematical perfection by the sheer force of its own weight. If there are mountains on the surface of a neutron star, they are only a fraction of a millimeter tall. The crust is billions of times stronger than steel. It is a world that simply cannot be broken, cracked, or disturbed. Imagine your own tired mind adopting the nature of this perfect sphere. Throughout the day, stress and anxiety create deep valleys and sharp, jagged mountains within your thoughts. It is a rough, uneven landscape that makes rest impossible. But now, as you lie in the dark, imagine a heavy, comforting gravity slowly pressing down on those thoughts. Watch as the jagged edges of your worries are gently crushed and smoothed over. The turbulence of the day is flattened into a single, seamless, and perfectly balanced state of calm. Your mind is becoming like the crust of the neutron star, smooth, impenetrable, and absolutely quiet. The pressures of tomorrow cannot crack it. The anxieties of yesterday cannot dent it. You are a perfect sphere of rest, floating heavily in the dark, completely unbroken by the world. Fact 15. The bending of the light. We are taught that light is the great constant of the universe. It travels in a perfectly straight line, cutting through the dark void at an absolute, unwavering speed. It is the arrow of time rushing forward without ever looking back. But as we drift deeper into the profound, heavy architecture of the cosmos, we discover that even light is not immune to the power of rest. Even light can be bent. This is the beautiful, mind-bending phenomenon known as gravitational lensing. Imagine floating in the deep intergalactic void, looking toward a distant, ancient galaxy. But between you and that distant galaxy lies something unimaginably heavy, a massive cluster of thousands of galaxies bound together by dark matter. This cluster is so incredibly dense, so profoundly heavy, that it physically warps the fabric of space-time around it. It creates a deep, invisible valley in the void. When the light from the distant galaxy reaches this valley, it does not travel straight through. It cannot. Instead, the light is forced to slow its trajectory, curving gently around the massive gravity of the cluster. The straight line is broken. The light bends, stretching out into a massive, glowing, perfect circle known as an Einstein ring. It is a cosmic optical illusion, a halo of soft, distorted starlight wrapping safely around the heavy dark. Think of the stressful, rushing thoughts of your waking life as that straight line of light. During the day, they come at you directly, hitting your mind with full force. But here, in the heavy, quiet gravity of your sleep, you have created a protective valley. Imagine your mind becoming incredibly heavy, incredibly dense with peace. As the anxieties of tomorrow try to reach you, they cannot travel in a straight line. They hit the heavy gravity of your rest, and they are gently bent away. They curve safely around you, distorting into a soft, harmless halo of faded memories on the edge of your consciousness. They do not impact you. They just bend around you, leaving you perfectly untouched, resting securely in the quiet center of the ring. Fact 16. The diamond heart of the white dwarf. As the bent, curving light of the galaxy cluster fades into the distance, we drift toward a single, isolated point of pale light in the dark. We are approaching a white dwarf, the ancient, dead core of a star that was once very much like our own sun. But we are not looking at its surface. We are looking deep inside, at the final, beautiful result of 1 billion years of pressure. When a star like our sun dies, it sheds its outer layers of gas and leaves behind a core made almost entirely of carbon and oxygen. For eons, this core remains incredibly hot. But without any new fuel to burn, it has no choice but to slowly, agonizingly cool down in the freezing vacuum of space. As the temperature drops over millions and millions of years, the carbon atoms inside the core are crushed together by the star's immense remaining gravity. The pressure is so incomprehensible that it forces the carbon to crystallize. The heart of the dead star turns into a diamond. Just 50 light-years from Earth, there is a white dwarf known to astronomers as BPM 37093. Deep within its pale, glowing crust lies a crystallized diamond core that is over 2,000 miles across. It is a single, flawless, cosmic diamond weighing 10 billion trillion carats. It is the largest gemstone in the entire universe, and it is quietly ringing like a massive, crystal bell in the dark. Down on Earth, we know that immense pressure is required to create a diamond. We often feel that same crushing pressure in our daily lives, the weight of expectations, the burden of our responsibilities, squeezing our minds until we feel we might break. But look at the white dwarf. The pressure has already done its work. The heat has already faded. The chaotic, burning era of the star is over. What remains is perfectly solid, flawlessly clear, and entirely at peace. Imagine the heavy, pressurized stress inside your own mind slowly cooling down in the dark. The heat of your anxiety is fading away, radiating harmlessly out into the void. The pressure is locking your chaotic thoughts into a perfect, crystalline structure. Your mind is becoming as clear, as solid, and as beautifully quiet as the diamond heart of the star. Let the cooling process finish. The pressure is gone. Only the flawless, unbreakable rest remains. Fact 17. The silent wind of the nebula. When we think of a storm on Earth, we think of noise. We hear the howling of the wind as it tears through the trees, the violent crashing of thunder, and the heavy, relentless pounding of the rain. A storm demands our attention because it physically impacts the world around us. But as we drift back into the glowing, colorful clouds of a deep space nebula, we encounter storms of a magnitude that make our earthly weather look like a gentle breeze. And yet, they are entirely, perfectly silent. Deep within the heart of stellar nurseries, massive, newly born blue stars release unimaginable amounts of energy. This energy creates stellar winds, currents of ionized gas and radiation that blow outward into the void at millions of miles per hour. These winds are so powerful that they literally sculpt the surrounding dust, carving out the massive, towering pillars and deep, glowing caverns of the nebula. But if you were to float directly into the path of this million-mile-per-hour cosmic hurricane, you would hear absolutely nothing. You would feel no breeze against your skin. Because the gas is so incredibly thin, so spread out over billions of miles of empty vacuum, the wind is nothing more than a ghost. It is a phantom force. It has the power to shape the galaxy over millions of years, but in this exact moment, it cannot rustle a single leaf. It cannot disturb your rest. Imagine the stressful, rushing events of your life as this cosmic wind. During the day, they feel like a hurricane, howling in your ears and pushing you in 100 different directions. But right now, in the quiet vacuum of the night, those events have lost their density. They have lost their ability to make a sound. Let the frantic winds of tomorrow blow right through you. You are transparent. You are made of the void. The stress is moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but it cannot touch you. It cannot move you. It is just a silent, colorful ghost washing harmlessly over your heavy, resting mind. Lie perfectly still and let the silent storms of the universe pass you by. Fact 18. The expanding horizon. As we float in the absolute stillness, untouched by the phantom winds, we look out at the grand tapestry of the cosmos. We see millions of distant galaxies, each containing billions of stars, stretching out as far as our telescopes can see. It looks like a permanent, unchanging portrait. But the universe is not static. It is actively, continuously pulling itself apart. This is the great mystery of dark energy. It is an invisible, silent force that is stretching the very fabric of space-time, causing the universe to expand in every direction. And it is not just expanding, it is accelerating. Because of this expansion, the distant galaxies we see in the night sky are slowly moving away from us. As time stretches forward into the deep, incomprehensible future, these galaxies will be pushed further and further into the dark. Eventually, they will be pushed so far away, and they will be moving so incredibly fast, that their light will no longer be able to reach us. They will cross the cosmic event horizon. One by one, the distant galaxies will simply fade from view. The sky will become darker. The universe is slowly, quietly erasing its own borders. Trillions of years from now, if a watcher were to look up at the night sky, they would see nothing but a profound, empty, and perfect black void. There is a deep, heavy comfort in this ultimate cosmic fade. We spend our lives trying to hold on to everything, our memories, our plans, our worries, and our attachments. We try to keep all the galaxies of our thoughts brightly lit and perfectly organized. But the universe itself knows how to let go. The universe allows the light to simply drift away into the dark. Imagine your own mind expanding in the same way. The thoughts that have been crowding your vision, the bright, demanding worries that keep you awake, let them slowly drift away. Watch as the space between your thoughts grows wider and darker and quieter. One by one, allow your anxieties to cross the horizon of your consciousness. They are fading from view. You do not need to hold on to them anymore. Let the dark energy of your rest push them far away, leaving you with nothing but a clear, empty, and perfectly peaceful dark sky. Fact 19. The subsurface oceans of Enceladus. We leave the fading, expanding edges of the universe behind and allow the gentle currents of gravity to guide us back toward our own celestial neighborhood. We drift into the magnificent, pale gold shadow of Saturn. But we are not here to look at the giant planet or its hypnotic rings. We are looking for a tiny, brilliant white moon named Enceladus. From the outside, Enceladus looks like a cold, dead, and entirely inhospitable world. Its surface is a blindingly bright shell of solid, fractured ice, reflecting almost all of the sun's light back into the freezing void. It seems like a place where nothing could possibly move or exist. But the universe specializes in hiding its most comforting secrets deep beneath the surface. Because Enceladus is caught in the massive gravitational grip of Saturn, its rocky core is constantly, gently flexed and squeezed. This friction creates a profound, steady heat deep inside the moon. And trapped between that warm, glowing core and the miles-thick shell of freezing ice above, there is an entire global ocean of liquid water. Imagine yourself passing through the cracks in the heavy ice, sinking down into this hidden alien sea. There is no sunlight here. It is a world of absolute, flawless darkness. But it is not a cold darkness. Deep at the bottom of this ocean, hydrothermal vents release plumes of soothing, mineral-rich warmth into the water. You are floating in a pitch-black, weightless, and profoundly warm ocean, completely sealed off from the freezing vacuum of space by miles of impenetrable ice. The chaos of the solar system, the solar flares, the asteroid impacts, the rushing comets cannot reach you here. You are perfectly insulated. Think of your own mind as this icy moon. On the surface, the day might have left you feeling frozen, rigid, and exhausted. But beneath that hard exterior, there is a deep, warm, and quiet ocean of subconscious rest waiting for you. Let yourself sink beneath the ice. Leave the cold surface of your waking thoughts behind. The heavy ice will protect you. Float in the dark, warm, soundless water of your own mind, completely safe from the noise of the outside world. Fact 20. The relativity of rest. As we float in the absolute stillness of the hidden ocean, we confront one of the most beautiful and counterintuitive truths of physics. True, absolute rest does not exist anywhere in the cosmos. Everything is always moving. Right now, as you lie in the dark, you might feel like you are perfectly stationary. But the Earth beneath you is spinning on its axis at over 1,000 miles per hour. At the same time, our planet is hurtling around the Sun at 67,000 miles per hour. And our entire solar system is being dragged through the Milky Way galaxy at a staggering 500,000 miles per hour. You are currently traveling through the universe at an incomprehensible speed. And yet, you feel absolutely nothing. You feel perfectly, flawlessly still. This is the miracle of relative motion. Because the universe carries you, your room, your bed, and the very air you breathe at the exact same speed, the motion becomes entirely invisible. There is no friction. There is no wind resistance in space. The cosmos is the ultimate, perfect vehicle, moving with such flawless, silent grace that you cannot even feel the engine running. Let this realization lift the burden of control from your shoulders. When the night drags on, and you feel the heavy, exhausting anxiety of the approaching dawn creeping closer, you often feel like you have to do something. You feel like you have to force yourself to sleep, to steer the ship of your mind. But you do not have to steer. You do not have to put in any effort at all. The universe is already carrying you. It is doing all the heavy lifting. You are a passenger on a magnificent, silent ship traveling through the dark at 500,000 miles an hour, and it requires absolutely zero effort from you. You don't need to try. You just need to lie back, let go of the controls, and allow the flawless, frictionless momentum of the galaxy to carry you effortlessly into the morning. Fact 21. The Black Dwarf Slumber. We have already witnessed the beautiful, crystalline heart of the white dwarf, the glowing, cooling ember left behind when a star like our Sun finally dies. But the story of that star does not end with a faint, pale glow. The universe has a final, ultimate stage of rest reserved for these ancient cores, a stage so profoundly deep and requires so much patience that it does not even exist yet. We are looking into the unimaginably distant future to witness the slumber of the black dwarf. When a white dwarf sits in the freezing vacuum of space, it radiates its leftover heat away. But it does this with an agonizing, almost incomprehensible slowness. To completely lose its heat, to stop glowing entirely, and to match the absolute freezing temperature of the cosmic background, a white dwarf needs trillions, perhaps quadrillions of years. Our universe is only 14 billion years old. It is simply too young. It has not existed long enough for a single black dwarf to form. But one day, eons from now, they will be everywhere. Imagine floating toward one of these future monuments of rest. A black dwarf is a massive, incredibly dense sphere of crystallized carbon and oxygen, but it emits absolutely zero light. It emits zero heat. It is entirely invisible against the backdrop of the void. It is the ultimate endpoint of stellar evolution. After billions of years of burning brightly and trillions of years of slowly cooling down, the star has finally been granted permission to completely and permanently shut down. It will sit in the dark, silent and unchanging, until the very end of time. There is a profound comfort in the extreme patience of the black dwarf. Down on Earth, when we are exhausted and trying to sleep, we often grow frustrated if we cannot calm our minds immediately. We demand instant rest. But the universe shows us that true cooling down takes time. Do not be angry with yourself if your thoughts are still glowing faintly. You are a star that has burned brightly all day. You cannot expect to turn completely black the moment you close your eyes. Allow yourself the grace of a slow cool down. Imagine your mind as that ancient star, slowly, gently radiating its leftover energy out into the dark, empty room. There is no rush. You have the entire night to fade. Let the slow, inevitable slumber of the black dwarf teach you the beautiful art of cosmic patience. Fact 22. The Sea of Neutrinos. As we float in the absolute stillness, waiting patiently for the stars to cool, we realize that the space around us is not entirely empty. Even in the deepest, most isolated void, where there is no light, no dust, and no gravity, there is a constant, silent tide washing over us. We are drifting in the invisible sea of neutrinos. Neutrinos are the ghost particles of the cosmos. Every single second, trillions of them are born in the fiery cores of distant stars, in the violent hearts of supernovas, and in the swirling accretion disks of black holes. They are shot out into the universe at nearly the speed of light. But unlike photons of light, which bounce off surfaces, or atoms, which crash into one another, neutrinos almost never interact with physical matter. They are so infinitesimally small and carry such a perfectly neutral charge that they do not recognize physical boundaries. To a neutrino, the universe is practically empty space. Right now, as you lie in your bed, trillions of these ancient ghost particles are passing straight through the roof of your house. They are passing straight through your ceiling, and they are flowing silently, frictionlessly, right through your resting body. They continue straight down, passing completely through the solid iron core of the Earth, and out the other side, continuing their journey into the endless dark. They leave no trace. They cause no friction. They simply pass through. Imagine your own consciousness adopting the nature of a neutrino. Throughout the day, when stressful thoughts or heavy anxieties hit you, they feel like solid objects. They crash into your mind, causing friction, leaving bruises, and slowing you down. But in the quiet isolation of your sleep, you can change your state of matter. You do not have to be a solid wall for your worries to crash against. You can become transparent. You can become the void. Visualize the stressful thoughts of tomorrow rushing toward you in the dark. But instead of bracing for impact, just relax. Let them be like neutrinos. Watch them pass completely, effortlessly through you. You offer no resistance. You offer no friction. The anxieties wash over you and pass straight through, disappearing harmlessly into the night without leaving a single mark. You are completely intangible. Let the heavy, physical world simply flow through you, leaving you feeling entirely empty, perfectly light, and ready to sleep. Fact 23. The Great Cooling. As we drift further into the unimaginable future, passing the silent, frozen monuments of the black dwarfs, we witness the final, grand act of the cosmos. This is the era of the Great Cooling. For trillions of years, the universe has been a busy, radiant, and often violent place. It has spent its energy generously, fueling the birth of stars, the swirling of galaxies, and the warmth of planets. but the supply of energy is finite. Imagine the universe as a massive, ancient house after a long, bustling holiday. The guests have all gone home. The fires in the fireplaces have burned down to soft, grey ash. The laughter and the music have faded into a distant memory. Now, one by one, the lights are being turned off. Heat is simply motion, and as the universe expands further and further, that motion naturally slows down. The cosmic background radiation, the first light of the Big Bang, stretches so thin that it loses its last trace of warmth. Every atom in the void begins to settle into a state of perfect, unshakable lethargic peace. Let this ultimate cooling down be a signal to your own mind. Throughout the day, your brain has been like a sun, burning through energy, processing a billion different signals, and generating the heat of stress. But now, the fuel is gone. The lights are dimming. You do not need to fight the cold, you can embrace it. Feel the thermal equilibrium spreading through your body, from your toes to your mind. Your internal temperature is dropping, matching the quiet, frozen serenity of the deep future. The busy day is over. The universe is finally, officially, closing for the night. Fact 24, the point of absolute stillness. We are now approaching the physical limit of reality itself. In the laboratories on Earth, scientists spend millions of dollars trying to reach a state called absolute zero, the temperature at which all molecular motion stops. They can never quite reach it. But out here, in the final, dark corners of the deep future, the universe reaches it effortlessly. Imagine a place where the vibration of atoms comes to a complete, perfect halt. There is no more shivering. There is no more spinning. Even the electrons, which have danced around their nuclei for eons, finally slow down and come to a rest. It is the ultimate cosmic pause button. This is the point of absolute stillness. When you feel that you cannot sleep because your mind is racing, it is because there is too much kinetic energy in your thoughts. They are bouncing off the walls of your consciousness like heated gas molecules. But here, in the shadow of absolute zero, that energy has no place to hide. Visualize your thoughts as tiny, vibrating particles. Now, imagine the profound, heavy cold of the deep void washing over them. Watch as they slow down. See them lose their momentum. One by one, they stop moving entirely. They settle into a perfect, crystalline lattice of silence. There is no more noise. There is no more friction. Your mind is now a flawless, unmoving sea of absolute stillness. The universe has stopped moving, and so have you. Fact 25, the final sleep. The journey is over. We have traveled from the bright, noisy surface of the Earth to the very end of time and space. We have seen the diamond hearts of stars and the warm, hidden oceans of frozen moons. We have let the ghost particles of the void wash us clean of our burdens. The screen in front of you is now fading to a perfect, lightless black. The last of the cosmic facilitaria are dying away, leaving behind a silence so deep and so protective that it feels like a physical embrace. You are no longer a person trying to sleep. You are a part of the cosmos, and the cosmos has already found its rest. You are floating in the ultimate sanctuary, millions of miles away from the morning, billions of years away from the stress of the day. There are no more facts to learn. There are no more mysteries to solve. The gravity of the universe is holding you perfectly still. The darkness is a heavy, velvet blanket, shielding your eyes and calming your heart. You are safe. You are weightless. You are entirely forgotten by the world, and that is the greatest gift of all. Let your breathing become a slow, shallow echo of the cosmic expansion. Inhale the silence and exhale the last of yourself into the dark. The lights are out. The stars are gone. There is only the peace of the endless night. This is Silence of Space. Good night.